Read Star Wars books. It'll be fun, they said. You, at Barnes & Noble, standing in front of the Star Wars book section, contemplating your life. What have you gotten yourself into? Hundreds of books. Hundreds. Where do you start? Why do some books have legends on the cover? Do I go with paperback or hardcover? And wait, there are 2 different timelines? Star Wars books have always been tricky to get into. When Disney bought Lucasfilm and decided to break up the expanded universe into Canon and Legends, well, things got even trickier. Luckily for you, Youtini is here to save the day. But before we begin, let's hear from today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Audible. If you've never listened to a Star Wars audiobook before, you are seriously missing out. The production value is insanely good with music, sound effects, and narration unlike anything you've ever heard before in an audiobook. And trust me, you're gonna love it. Audiobooks are perfect for people with busy lives, and let's be real, who doesn't have a completely crazy schedule? You can listen to them on your commute or in the gym, which is really the perfect way to keep up to date on Star Wars content. Now you have no excuses to miss out. Have you never listened to an audiobook before? Well, you're in luck. You can get your very first Star Wars audiobook on us by going to youtini.com/audible. It's completely free, no strings attached, and you get to keep the audiobook forever, even if you don't use Audible again. But trust me, you're gonna want to use it again. Once again, that's youtini.com/audible for instructions on how to claim your free Star Wars audiobook. What's up, everyone? My name is Emma. I'm a content creator here at Youtini, and today I'm going to help you understand the differences between Canon and Legends and give you a basic overview of both. Alright, let's get into it. To keep the definition of canon as simple as possible, canon includes all of the films, TV shows, plus all of the books, comics, and video games published after 2014 when Disney purchased Lucasfilm. Legends is everything before that. Just think of Legends and Canon as different universes with similar characters but with different outcomes. This decision by Disney was met with quite a bit of controversy, but we think it was a pretty genius creative decision. They separated the content into 2 different timelines or 2 different universes to provide creative freedom for the future content creators of Star Wars. If you're looking to get into Star Wars Legends, we have a full guide on the site as well as a video breakdown, which will be linked in the description below. So Legends is old stuff and Canon is new stuff. But what does this distinction look like practically? Let's take a look at some specific examples. Old Marvel comics published in the 70s and 80s are Legends. Dark Horse comics from the 90s are Legends. Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn published in the 90s is also Legends. The old Revenge of the Sith video game, the old Battlefront games, and the Force Unleashed games are all Legends. All the films, including the original trilogy and prequel trilogy, and TV shows like Rebels, Resistance, The Clone Wars, and The Mandalorian are all canon. The Jedi Fallen Order video game is canon. All of the new Marvel comics are also canon. The new Thrawn book, including the 2 that followed it, Thrawn Alliances and Thrawn Treason, are also canon. And yes, Thrawn is a super confusing case because he was a character that originated in Legends and now is in canon, so yeah, super confusing. So just to summarize, Legends is everything pre-Disney and canon is everything after that. Canon also includes the original trilogy and prequel trilogy and the Clone Wars, even though those were made before Disney bought Lucasfilm. It's important to note that Legends is currently sealed, meaning that to date, there are no plans to add more content to Legends. All new Star Wars content is considered canon unless Disney says otherwise. The last thing I want to mention here is that a lot of people get hung up on what is true canon in the canon timeline. Youtini's official opinion on that is that it's not really that important. All Star Wars has plot holes. The books, the TV shows, even the movies. Plot holes are just kind of part of Star Wars tradition at this point. We look at it more as a feature and not a bug. It's fun to recognize that there are 2 slightly different versions of how Rey and Poe met for the first time, and it's fun to analyze those and break them down. But just remember to organize your idea of canon loosely in your head so that you don't lose sight of how fun Star Wars is. If you're looking to get into the Star Wars canon, we have a full guide on our site as well as a video breakdown, which we will link in the description below. Next, let's talk about what happens when you pick up a Star Wars book for the very first time. How do you determine if the book you have is Legends or canon? This is relatively simple if it's a newer print book, like the ones in the big box bookstores. If it has a gold Legends banner up at the top, the book you have is Legends. If it doesn't have that, the book you have is Canon. Things get more tricky with older prints, like what you would find at a used bookstore, because depending on when the book was printed, it might not have the Legends banner. The safest way to know whether the book you have is Canon or Legends is to check out Youtini.com, where we'll tell you very specifically if the book you have is Canon or Legends. Just search the title of the book you have, and the answer will be right there for you. Another option is to check out our timelines, where we break down both the Canon and Legends timelines into an easy-to-use and beautiful format. While I'm here breaking down Legends and Canon, I also want to break down the term expanded universe for you, because it's thrown around a lot in the Star Wars community, and there's a lot of confusion as to what exactly it means. First off, just know that there is no official definition for the expanded universe. Not even Wikipedia has a clear definition on it, and that's basically the Bible for all things Star Wars for Star Wars fans. Many people use the term EU to describe just Legends content. Back before there was the Canon and Legends distinction, people used the term EU to describe exactly that, content that expanded on the known universe from the movies. But when Disney bought Star Wars and settled on the two different timelines for Canon and Legends, they never established a formal name. Even the word canon is a loose and informal term. So what is the EU then? We at Youtini use EU as a definition, and we think everyone else should use it that way too. Meaning the expanded universe expands on the films and TV shows, both canon and Legends. So Legends Expanded Universe is just called Legends, Canon Expanded Universe is just called Canon, and the EU describes all of it. Simple. That'll do it for today's video. I hope I've helped you understand the differences between Canon and Legends. As always, if you want to help support the show, links to all the books I've mentioned in today's video are in the description below. If you want to take a deeper dive into the books, make sure to check out The Living Force, the official podcast of Youtini, or catch the live show every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/Youtini_US. Visit us online at Youtini.com for reading guides, timelines, book profiles, and reviews for every single story in the Star Wars galaxy. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.